Yesterday, me and the people on this esteemed channel were indulged in redrawing the borders of Europe. You see, the great light of freedom under Uncle Sam and the Empire of Japan has liberated Eurasia from the rule of tyrannical Orientalist despotisms. Now we shall see the results of our map. Beginning from the extreme west, Portugal has been completely liberated for freedom, Spain has been liberated under the John's Party, and the monarchy has been restored. However, the treaty signers felt that the Catalonians are their own tribe, their own people, and deserve their independence. Similarly, the Basque country, which are not really even Indo Aryans or Indo Europeans, have been given their freedom. Then we have got France, from which Brittany has been given its independence. And then we have got the Irish who have been given their liberation. And the treaty signers felt that England was a prison of nations, similar to Italy. And so both Britain and Italy have been dismantled. In the case of Britain, England, Wales, and Scotland have been granted their independence. But in the case of Italy, the treaty signers felt that the entire Italian identity was a bourgeois feudalist conception built around cheaply imitating the old Roman Empire. In fact, such a thing as Italian has never existed according to the signers of this treaty. And so all the peoples of this erstwhile quote unquote Italy have been liberated like Sardinia Piedmont or the Duchy of Lombardy, Modena, Venice, where the Doge has been restored to his supreme authority, the Duchy of Tuscany under the Habsburg, and this is, by the way, the last Habsburg state in the entire European continent. And then, of course, the Pope has been given back his lands, His Holiness is now free to reign. And the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, which is the second Bourbon kingdom apart from Spain. Then we come to Belgium. Belgium has been given their lands of Pas de Calais. Why? Because the treaty signers felt that these lands belong to Belgium, that's why. There is no real explanation for it. Then we have the Netherlands, where again the monarchy was restored. Once again, Germany was punished and was broken up into three parts. No, four parts. The first is the North German state. Then we have got the South German state. By the way, Austria was merged because the treaty signers felt that the entire Austrian entity was once again a bourgeois conception dreamed up by the Habsburg to divide Germany. Then we have the Rhenish Republic and the Republic of East Prussia under Wilhelm von Geil. Then in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, monarchies were restored, while Finland was given Karelia because it had been taken by Russia before. Then we move on to the other areas. As you can see, Poland was liberated and Poland was given large areas of Eastern Europe. Poland nearly got all of its demanded areas at the treaty, except, of course, for the city of Vilna or Vilno, which was given to Lithuania, which made it its capital. Poland under Moski today is one of the most powerful nations of Europe. Then we have Estonia, Latvia. Once again, Belarus was liberated under Vaclav Lastovsky. And Ukraine was granted its freedom from Russia, including large areas of the eastern steppe. Of course, Ukraine could not get the area of Lvov, which the Ukrainians call Lviv. And of course, they also could not get the area Bessarabia belonging to Romania. Transylvania was split between Hungary and Romania. Yugoslavia was given its independence and it was largely given all the territories it desired, except, of course, for the port city of Trieste and the second port city of Kotor, which were both given to Venice because these regions were considered to be a part of Italic culture. Once again, remember that Italy as a nation state is not recognized by the treaty signers, but as a wider, vague cultural identity, it is recognized. Albania was given Kosovo. Then we have got Bulgaria, which was given Macedonia. So Alexander the Great from now on is to be considered a Bulgarian hero. In Romania, the legion, and in Bulgaria, the other legion rules. Then we have got the Kingdom of Greece, which has been granted vast amount of territory in Anatolia in recognition of the Greek minorities there, and of course, the old European Roman capital of Constantinople has been granted back to Greece. Also, along with this gift comes Cyprus. Then we have got the most punished nation of Europe or Eurasia in general, which is the Republic of Turkey, now under the Kadroists. Turkey has been thoroughly punished. It has lost a lot of land in its east to the Greeks. Furthermore, Furthermore, Turkey has also lost a lot of its Kurdish land to the Kurds, who have been granted their own state. Then we have got the Syrian state under Anton Sadeh, although they did not manage to get Lebanon in the peace treaty. In Egypt, the old monarchy was overthrown and an Egyptian republic was proclaimed under the Nationalist Islamic Party. The Suez Canal remains under direct American occupation. After that, we have got the nation of Iraq, which is again under Rashid Ali Al Gailani of the Al Muthanna Club. Iraq has gained the strategic oil rich territory of Khuzestan, which Iran has unfortunately lost. To make up for this, Iran has been granted the region of Ashgabat. And then we come to the giant, the Russian bear. Although severely punished in this peace treaty, in fact losing parts like Sakhalin to the Japanese, and Ukraine, Belarus, large parts of the Baltics, Karelia, and even most of the Caucasus, the Russian bear still remains strong. Demands for a separate Siberian state were not recognized during the treaty, and Russia remains in control of Siberia. Then we come to Transcaucasia, where a unified Transcaucasian state was declared. Remember that this treaty is made because these borders will last 1,000 years. The makers of this treaty believe that this treaty will lead to eternal peace in Europe. No longer will European nations fight wars. In fact, the word war or military or army will slowly wither away from vocabulary. These borders are made for perfect ethnic harmony, where every group has been given their due. All borders will lead to maximum satisfaction and tranquility. And that is the case of these large nations like Transcaucasia and the Central Asian Federation, where these groups of people will live happily ever after in true unity of mind and body. The Black Sea, once a Russian lake, has now become completely gone from Russia's grasp. In fact, Russia only retains a part of the Black Sea coast in their province of Abkhazia. And that is now the only outlet that Russia has to any warm water port in the entire world. This is the tragedy that Russia now faces. It is a landlocked country in all but name. Then we move on to Afghanistan. All demands for greater Afghanistan were completely recognized, and today Afghanistan is a massive nation stretching from Badakhshan in the north to the seacoast of Baluchistan in the south. Not since the time of the Ghurid dynasty of the 9th century has Afghanistan gotten sea access, and this will surely lead to Afghanistan becoming a strong, powerful, modernized nation in the future. India was broken up. Just like Italy and Britain, the treaty signers felt that the conception of India is wrong, that India is a prison of nations. Accordingly, various nations were granted their independence, like the Ganga Federation, which is a loose federation of the cow belt, Orissa, the Greater Bengal state, the Greater State of Maharashtra, the state of Dravida Nadu, and a separate state for Rajputana. And Sindh was merged with Rajputana because the treaty signers feel that the Sindhis are nothing but westernized Rajputs. Here, westernized doesn't mean Europeanized, but rather literally westernized, meaning they come to the west of Rajputana. And then, of course, we have Khalistan, which was granted its independence, a separate hardline Sikh theocratic state. The Sikhs have also been granted Kashmir because it was once a part of the Sikh Empire under Ranjit Singh. And of course, Burma has been granted its independence, although the state of Kachin will soon be granted its own independence in the Hukwang Valley. And then finally, we come to Africa, where all claims for South African statehood have been recognized and South Africa has been given its due. Then we come, of course, to the other liberated states in Africa like Zambezia, Angola, Mozambique, East Africa, Congo, Gabon, Cameroon, Somalia, and Ethiopia. Importantly, Sudan was given to England because the treaty signers felt that Sudan was a wasteland where the English people brought civilization. And giving Sudan its independence would be like giving the Native Americans their independence. So, just as the United States of America brought civilization and the light of progress to Sudan, to America, so have the English been given control over Sudan for perpetuity. Because remember, these borders are not temporary, these borders will last 1,000 years. They are borders designed for maximum world peace. Similar to English Sudan, France has been granted control over Algeria because the treaty signers feel that Algeria is an integral part of the French nation state, and the Pied Noir now reigns supreme. Similarly, Western Sahara and parts of northern Morocco were given to Spain to be ruled for perpetuity. Another tiny holding of England is this one, Gambia. Once again, the same logic has been used, where England brought the light of civilization to the Gambia, and so now England will rule over the Gambia. Remember, friends, all this has been done to bring the light of progress, civilization, and most importantly, to ensure eternal world peace in Europe and the world. And of course, who can forget American Greenland? Thank you for watching.